Welcome back to JJ Speed Shop. You know what time it is. It's time to put the engine in. Let's go. Well, that was not nearly as easy as we thought it was. Okay, so have you noticed I got a haircut since then? But it actually took us probably about 10 hours to get this engine in there and sitting. We had to rebuild the passenger side mount. It wasn't sitting in there quite well, and you have to kind of take the engine mount loose from the engine to get the engine to sit down in there, and it was just kind of a nightmare. But we have that in, we got a drive shaft in, transmission, engine both sitting on the mounts. So now on to everybody's favorite part, wiring. So we kind of got this power steering pump figured out. There's a company called Reform Motorsports, makes a little doodad thing that will interrogate, there we go. I don't know. Does something with the CAN bus. So a couple of these wires go to the CAN bus, one's power, one's ground, and all you have is just like a little clicker switch. And so you have infinitely adjustable, that'll be low pressure, firm steering wheel, high pressure, easy steering wheel. And we're gonna try to run this through that hole. There, focus. That hole, which goes behind the headlight, which goes under here, and then back into the car. We'll run that into the firewall and just kind of put this underneath the dash somewhere. The other part of hiding all the wires is the old Ford starter solenoid. We're just gonna hide it underneath the battery tray. It'll just sit kind of about like right there. And so when you have the battery tray in place, I'll just grab that real quick. Battery tray sits right here, and you won't even see that ugly starter solenoid, except you'll just see a couple wires coming out. So after about 47 hours, we'll have some of this wired up, but the engine's sitting in there, which is the most exciting part. Also, there's that Holley swider. It's a fuel squirter. I forgot my dad bought a P-Touch label maker, and so he's just been labeling everything. It's not a 289, it's 302, but that looks cooler.
Shut this off.
So the wiring is pretty well done-ish. I need to trim this negative wire that goes to the coil. Oh, why would you just fall off there? Well, we'll just put that, yep, right back. This is all the Holley wiring. Ran to that, there's the Ford starter solenoid sitting under there. I might hide these red wires a little bit. I don't know, probably not. It's fine. It'll be just fine. But this power steering pump is working really well with that Reform Motorsports thingamadoogie. That controller. Anyway, you want to see that? That's kind of cool. So, battery's on. I'm going to turn the key on. Yeah. And that's that little Reform Motorsports thing. Alright, so now that it's on and spooled up, the knob is down here, and we'll just crank it up. Now it should be able to spin easy, and then you just crank it back down, and the steering wheel relief goes back firm, which I think is pretty cool. Running into a problem here though. Dang fire bottle. Oopsies. We ran into a problem though. We had to replace that Holley fuel pump. It's one of those in-tank things. And we have power going to the pump. Clicks on, everything's good, but we have no pressure. So I called Holley, and Holley tech support's actually really cool. So they sent us a little regulator thing. He said that's about the only thing it could be. I checked the hose, all that kind of stuff. So we're gonna put it back on lift, raise it back up, take the pump back out, and replace this regulator, and hopefully that's it. And hopefully we can actually, you know, run it today. Well, this is where that little regulator goes. There's a white cap over it. Here's the old one. There was some poo-poo on the screen, so maybe that's what was causing it to be bad. I'm not sure, but I'm just gonna throw this new one in there, put it back together, and whoop, I gotta get 2 hands on this. Get that O-ring pass, maybe. Come on, strong hand. Use a strong hand. Okay, now I'm gonna get 2 hands on it, put it back together. Well, there's the pump and the regulator back together. Gotta feed this through there, the float, put those 2 screws back on, we should be back in business. Alright, the pump's back in place, and we're gonna fill a tank and try this for the 7th, 8th time. Hopefully, it finally runs. We will see. Well, we tried it, we still have no fuel pressure at the rail. I don't know. I don't know what could be wrong with it. So we're gonna drain it again for the 7th time and pull the pump back out. I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with it. We'll see. Okay, honesty hour. So when I sent the new pump and I put the hose on, I left the little cap on the sending unit, so that will probably keep it from flowing fuel. Let's see if it starts. That's a better start. Got a miss.
I don't know if that's a mess with the cam. It's actually running lean enough to where the cam sounds good. It's too rich, it'll be boop, 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 boop. Yeah.
So walk me through, what all problems did we have with it running?
Well, it's searching. You had a couple of rockers out of adjustment. There's a resistor wire that was cutting the coil down to 6 volts when it's supposed to be 12 volts constant on a mini HE
Small cap.
small cap. Fuel pressure, we still don't know it. It was an 80 psi, the one that Holley sent us, and we put the other one back in. That still seems like it's searching, but we probably only have a half a gallon of gas in the tank right now. So
Yeah, we went through 5 gallons on the last day.
I don't know. Something's weird. It's losing fuel pressure and it's not doing
We put the brand new one, brand new. I've had it sitting on the shelf for about 6 years, but it seems to run better with that one on it. Well, once we get this thing kind of lined out, what I figured out is it saves everything to an SD card in the handheld. So if we can get it running better with this one, I can take that SD card out and use wherever that other one went. Where did it go? I don't know where it went. Hopefully that thing still works pretty well. Even though it was in a flood, it seems to be working fine. It runs. It runs. And when you give it gas, it is right now, revs up, ba-bow, ba-bow, you know? But it just, for some reason, it won't idle. So back to the drawing board, I guess. Or maybe we just need more fuel now that we've got it lined out. And you know, I've said this about 10 times. It would have ran with a carburetor. It would have been a lot easier. You'd probably have it running with a carburetor, a new fuel pump, and sending in it for the price of the fuel pump for the Holley Sniper. So, I don't know. After I figured out how to tune carbs, it's hard for me to do the newfangled Holley Sniper stuff. This is a lot more difficult than all the videos. All the videos show you just throw it on there and guess what? Here we go. It works. It just works very easily, but that is not the case for us. So I'm gonna call Holley tomorrow, I guess. I don't know. We'll put some more gas in it, see what it does, and then if we can't figure it out, Holley's customer support says to take a data log of it and then send it to them after talking and stuff. So we'll figure it out. But on the bright side, good news is it runs. So yeah, we'll see tomorrow, I guess. I don't know.
Ready?
Yep. And that's about what we've been running into. I mean, you give it gas, it pow, and then it just sputters and dies. So we'll have to figure that out. But for now, I mean, it does do the run stuff. So hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you probably in a week or so. Hopefully we can get this thing running. AMF.